So what's up, everybody? How's it going? Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening. I don't know what time it is wherever you're at, wherever you're watching this. Morning here. Oh, yep, still morning here. And my plan today was to do a bit of a tune-up on this truck. Actually, it was my plan about 6 months ago when I bought all the stuff to do it, but I never did it, so I figured I'd do it today. And so, gonna start tearing into this thing, and by tearing into it, I mean only surface level stuff, not getting real deep today. Gonna put some spark plugs, some new plug wires, change the oil, air filter, and I am going to change out the seat cover in there. So this is, for those of you that don't know, this is my daily driver 1998 K2500. I don't know why it's a K. I don't know how you could get a K out of four-wheel drive. If it's two-wheel drive, it would be a C, but this is a K. So yeah, those of you that know more about Chevrolet history, you just go ahead and put it down there in the comments, and you tell me why it's K, because I don't know. But that being said, I drive this every day, 260, almost 264,000 miles on it, and it is my daily driver. Here's my first how-to tip of the video. If you own a Chevrolet pickup, you know that the hood doesn't come open very easily. I did pop the hood, didn't I? Tip number one is actually tip number one is pull the hood release. Oh yeah, there it went. Tip number two, moving right through this, that nice how to work on your K2500 Chevrolet. Tip number two is you got to give her one of those to get the hood up. So what are we looking at here? Well, it's a motor. Got the Vortec. Yeah, that's about it. Don't make any mistakes in thinking that I am a long-term licensed mechanic or anything of the sort of that, because I'm not. What I am is just a guy that likes to take care of his stuff. I do live on a dirt road, so everything's dirty. And so we're going to tear into this easy. Why am I inside this building that I do not own, that if you looked around long enough, you'd probably recognize it as a fire station? Well, because I've been planning on doing this for quite a while. And today was the day. And it just decided to rain all day long. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to take out this old air filter and yeah, probably doing more plugging than filtering. Hey, by the way, if you park your vehicle of choice underneath an oak tree, you can get acorns in your airbox too. So, you know, that's the kind of stuff that really helps the engine run real well. And so we want to pull out all the acorns. And perhaps what we should do is, after we pull out all the acorns, maybe vacuum it out. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we'll just put the air filter in there, and that'll do the job, because I don't know if we have a vacuum around here anywhere. Feels like once upon a time we did, but I'm not seeing it. Oh, hey, wait, hang on. We might be looking at something here. Here we go. Yeah, this is a, oh man, this is a top-notch vacuum cleaner right here. So anyhow, yeah, oh, okay, there we go. Got an extension cord. Pretty sure one of the guys on the fire department here stole this straight out of his wife's cleaning supply closet, because doesn't look like it's... Whoop, wrong button. There we go. Oh yeah, it's got all of the suction. And by all the suction, I mean none. Can you suction up leaves and acorns? Yeah, buddy. Okay, cool. So that worked. We were off to a good start already. So in here in the truck, I have my Micro Guard air filter. Says to change it every 12,000 miles. I don't know anybody that does that, to be honest with you. This has sat in my garage for 6 months. Collected a couple of souvenirs along the way, but I think it's still okay. So we'll just go ahead and slip that right on there. And if you were wondering, by the way, I have no intentions of... I kind of started to say this already, but I'm going to go ahead and finish my thought instead of just wandering off into the abyss and not finishing what I was going to say. I'm not a mechanic. At least I'm not it's not what I do for a living. And so what I intend to do with these videos about vehiculars is that, if it's something that I don't know, then I'm guessing there's people out there in the world besides me that also don't know. And maybe they're going on to the YouTubes and trying to learn what it could possibly be or what it could possibly take to fix whatever they're trying to do. So I'm going to start posting some content about that stuff, because the last couple of videos I made about this truck, I had some naysayers. They didn't like the fact that I just made a video that was really more about being entertaining than it was about being a how-to. Pretty sure there was nothing in the title of those videos that said how-to anything. I mean, I could be wrong. No, actually I'm not wrong, because I went back and looked. Gonna put some plug wires on here. The Ultima Select. I selected those because the price tag was right. Got the Micro Guard filter. I'm not sure what kind of filter's on this truck. I was informed by my local friendly O'Reilly's sales rep, or I don't know what they call those guys. But he was helpful, informed me of all the problems that Fram has been having, and so he said it would probably be best to not ever run a Fram filter again. I said, okay, well, I want to let the exhaust manifolds kind of cool off a little bit before I start trying to pull out spark plugs and wires, and they're 400, 500, 600 degrees and burn the skin right off of my fingers, which I've done before. It's not fun. Don't recommend it to anybody. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and probably reposition you guys so that you can come along for the journey to the bottom side of the K2500. It's a 98. I don't know if I told you that. It's a special model with the fender flare delete on the front. In case you're wondering, the rear does not have the delete. So custom rig here. Okay, so I'm gonna let you know in advance that there's no light underneath this truck. I've looked around, found one light that plugged in and didn't light up. Bulb was bad, so we're just gonna go for it. So I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. It's gonna be a little dark under there, but don't be afraid. Nothing to be scared of. It's just the underside of the truck, and if you're gonna change your own oil, you're gonna have to be comfortable with that as well. I also, in the process, grabbed a 12, a 13, a 14 millimeter, as well as a 9/16 and a 1/2 inch wrench, because I can never remember what size the oil drain plug is. Probably not any of these. I've got it written on the wall in my garage at home. Also wanted to take a moment and let you know that this video is brought to you by, not sponsored by, the Ultraviolet Monster Energy Drink. It's the good stuff that keeps a guy going. Tastes like grape Shasta. If you don't agree, then you're wrong. Oh yeah, it's good stuff. It's real good stuff. Let's crawl underneath this thing and see what we can find. Got my filter with me. Paper towels, because I'm gonna make a mess. There's no in case I do. It is going to happen. See if I can get the 43-year-old body to work around here. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now I remember. Last time I did this, I crawled in behind the driver's side tire because it's just easier to get there from there. So, hang on. We'll be right back. Remember the song by No Doubt? I'm just a girl. Well, that's not me, but I am just a guy. Okay. Goodness gracious, it is darker than midnight under here. Man, it's going to be hard for you guys to see a whole bunch of anything. Why do I say that? Well, because it's hard for me to see anything. So what we're looking for is that drain plug right there. We're going to pull him out, and oh, look at that. There's the other filter, another micro guard, so at least it's not a Fram. Where I was going earlier, I think I got lost and sidetracked, but the guy at O'Reilly's did tell me that Frams had a lot of problems. Don't want to use them. Their filters were coming apart. So we're going to pull that plug, drain that oil, pull that filter off. And being that it's so dark, I think I'm just going to go ahead and cut this off and save you guys the trouble. Just know that I'm going to back that off, new filter goes back in. We'll talk about some little stuff along the way. All right, I'll cut you back here in just a moment. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this at all, but I did manage to get this broke loose. Now the trick here is positioning your pan just right so that 7 of the 5 quarts it's in this pan go down your arm and none of them into the pan. So there, she's loose, and boom. Oh man, that looks like it's got some chunkies hanging off the end of it. Wait, no, maybe. Yeah, no, we're good. Good shape, good stuff. Oil's about as black as that pan that it's draining into, which means it's well used. It's been good oil, good life. All right, cool. We definitely changed this oil just in the nick of time for nothing. That oil's way overdue. Yep. So here's the other thing is, now that my hands are nice and covered with oil and slick and you know all that good stuff, I got to reach up there and somehow barehanded manage to try to get that filter off. I don't know. See if I can pull off the one-handed paper towel ribbage. Yeah, it's happening. Come on. Yep, there we go. All right, so maybe I can dry my mitts off enough to, I don't know, this is just unbelievable. I don't know if you guys notice or not, but that is that. Yeah, oh yeah, that's where the front drive shaft's supposed to be. So if you watched the video where we took the transfer case out, you thought, oh man, yeah, getting the old 4-wheel drive fixed up. Yeah, we did. And remember, you know, harken back to the days when I said I'm not a mechanic. I'm a guy that's trying to learn and trying to do this stuff myself. When we put the transfer case back in, let's see if I can get, oh, look at that. Whoever put this on last was smart enough to say, man, there's no reason to just put the He-Man Torx on that. We'll just do it nice and gentle like. And yeah, so what I like to do is just kind of roll this out gently until it starts to just puke oil everywhere, and then I just let it do that. So anyway, back to the lecture at hand. So we did get the transfer case put in. Man, this thing is leaking. My goodness, it's leaking everywhere. This truck's gonna go in and have everything redone eventually. I might do the, rebuild in a bottle kind of thing. Maybe try some of that Blue Devil stuff that I hear people talking about. See if that'll swell some gaskets up, seal some things back up. Anyhow, we did get the transfer case rebuilt, got it put back in, had the front drive shaft with the slip joint and all that stuff put in here, and a good friend of mine who you will probably see on this channel, I think he's been on the channel before, helped me put it back together. Admittedly, neither one of us has ever messed with one of those, and for whatever reason, once it got back in, I got about 1.5 miles down the road, and this thing made a racket. I almost just jumped out the driver's side window and just let her eat. Scared me half to death at 1 o'clock in the morning, and come to find out, that was the front drive shaft just working its way right back out. So although it's a K, it's only a K in spirit. It's a C in functionality. No more four-wheel drive for now. I need to get that drive shaft down to a shop, have them put new yokes on both ends. U-joints, not yokes. Well, brain's not functioning yet. Need to get new U-joints put on it, and maybe even kind of consult somebody that can help me understand how to put that back on right. Back to the filter here. She is draining, and this is, guys, I just got to be honest with you, and girls, I guess I shouldn't leave girls out. There are mechanics out there in the world that are ladies as well, and probably a lot of them better mechanics than myself. But I just, on these types of filters, have not found a clean way to do it. Never have. And so you just, as I said earlier, about 7 out of the 5 quarts go down the arm. And I think actually on this one, I'm doing better than usual. I'm way above my personal average. Oh, there it went. Yeah, okay. So there it is. Yeah, we'll just set that right there. A little bit on the hand, but that's not bad. She burns that in a couple of days. So actually, she doesn't burn it. She's leaking it from somewhere. Planned on looking and trying to find that while I was down here, but it's too dark and I'm not going to find it. So we're just going to change the oil. Going to go ahead and get the old filter's already off. Going to go ahead and get the new filter out of the box. And we're going to put right here on this ring, while this is draining everywhere, but right here on that ring, first of all, when you take your old filter off, make certain that rubber O-ring came with the filter. If not, it's stuck up there on the housing where the filter goes, and it will cause you major leakage. So make sure that's still on there. Take your new filter, put just a little bit, about the amount that's on my hand here, on the rubber seal. Filter goes back in. It does not have to be torqued down so tight that you'd never get it off if you were the world's strongest man, Brian Shaw. Doesn't have to be like that. Just tight. Get it to where it bottoms out, and then give her a good whoop, give her one of those, and that's going to be tight enough. And that's really all you need to do. So I'm going to do that real quick. Everything that I just told you, it's really hard to hold the camera and do that. So I'm going to do that, get that put back up there, and then we'll be back on the top side of the truck. I'll see you there. Okay, so I'm back up onto what would be known as the top side of the truck now. Ready to take on quite possibly the most important part of, man, look at my back. I just laid right in that water. I think I'll live. The most important part of the oil change, and that's the oil. You're going to see right here, it says engine oil, SAE 5W30. 265-ish thousand miles, 265,000 My oil pressure in this truck will drop sometimes to about 20. When you fresh start it and it's cold and oil's nice and thick, she runs about 60. As long as I have the right amount of oil in this truck and I keep it topped off regularly, because it is burning, leaking, spitting, puking, just sweating horsepowers, it'll drop down. But as long as I keep it topped off, it'll stay right around 40 psi, which is good, especially for a motor with that kind of miles on it. So got to make sure we put oil back in here. The question is how much? I don't know. I could consult Google. I think I'd rather just consult the dipstick. So I'm going to start by we're going to put 5 quarts in there. No, we're going to go 4. No, we're going to go 5. This thing's not going to hold only 4 quarts full. We're going to go 5, pull the dipstick, and then we'll finish her off from there. So I've got the oil in the truck. Time to take a break for a sip of my ultraviolet monster. It's refreshing. Let's grab the oil. Let's see here. I got, yep, there's a little bit of that. Yep, that's good. Oh, there's the full jug. Yeah. All right, so let's go back over here and get a hold of, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, good, perfect. Got my oil. No! My old man shoulders are getting weak. I'm not old, but I am kind of weak sometimes. What you want to do is start with a filter that's as dirty as possible. If it's been laying outside in the dirt, in the rain, in the mud, in the muck and the mire, as they would say, that's probably a good place to start. Because what we really want is all that extra carbon-based material that came from your yard. We want that down in the engine. No, we don't. Don't listen to anything that I'm saying right now. You want this as clean as you can possibly get it. If I had a little bit of like some brake clean, carb clean, good old Berryman, something like that, I would certainly clean this out that way. This one I'm pretty sure that I stole straight out of my wife's kitchen. Don't tell her. She doesn't like my videos, so she won't be seeing this. Not that she doesn't like my videos, as in she's not into cars, and she says that I need to make my videos shorter. And I'm a full-feature, full-length film kind of guy, Oh, yeah. Now that's clean funnel. Put that guy right there. What is this? This here is not a trash bag yet, but this is a trash can. As I said, on the cap, the good old, I'm going to bring you in here so you can see this. Let's see if we can can you get a SAE? I don't know if that's focused or not. SAE 5W30. Now, yeah, I know there's guys out there that run the Rotella and stuff on these older engines, and that's a trick that's new to me, but I'm going to try it next time I change the oil on this. I think I'm going to give this old girl some stuff with some detergents in it, if that makes any sense at all. And then there's always this nice foil thing that I like to just break my finger in attempts to get that open. And then, as though we didn't spill enough oil already in the process of emptying the oil, now we go about the process of pouring the rest of the fresh oil, preferably in the motor, but sometimes you need to christen the exhaust manifolds too, just don't leave them out. It'll burn off quickly anyway. This is probably the best oil pour I've done in a long time. But, don't get carried away. We don't want to overfill it. So, as I said earlier, we are going to go ahead and put all 5 of these quarts in. And then we'll consult the dipstick and see what she says. And by dipstick, I don't mean your little brother that you don't like. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the, the thing with the yellow handle over there on the other side of the motor that tells me how much oil is sitting in the pan. Boy, this is a long process because this funnel doesn't have a big opening. This is boring. Is this the most fun YouTube video you've ever seen right here? This is riveting, highly engaging content right here. I just know it. I just know it. However, the good thing is the engine is cooling down enough that we'll be able to jump right in on those spark plugs here shortly. Almost got the oil in. Almost empty. I got to tell you, this truck with the Vortec engine, I have absolutely been tickled to death. It's so reliable. I don't have problems out of it at all. I just don't. I have recently started to, and it's just starting to turn cold too, but recently started to have to crank on the old starter a little bit more than I usually like to, but it happens. Josh, you gotta check the oil. I know. I'm waiting for it to all get down to the pan. You just rush in there right now and pull the dipstick right away. It's going to be close, but it might be off by a little bit too. And well, when that happens, then you overfill it. In the case of this truck, that's not a problem at all. I want to make sure. I'm going to bring you in real close for this too. Again, trying to help out those guys that just maybe have never done any of this themselves. Why do I care about helping people that have never done this? The world is really expensive to live in these days, and paying mechanics, although I support mechanics, if a guy is not able to make ends meet and still wants to service his vehicles, what I'm showing you here can pretty much apply to most of your vehicles out there that are on the road, as far as checking the oil, changing the oil. Filter location is going to be a little bit different. Drain plug location is probably going to be a little bit different depending on if your motor sits this way or that way, or if your motor has batteries. Well, then a whole different conversation to be had there. Anyway, you got, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this at all, but if you can, there's four, I can't count. There's 4 holes in there. Along those 4 holes, there's some cross-hatched markings. You want to be in there. Ideally, you want to be all the way, so this is the tip of you want to be all the way up to this last hole. I don't know if you can see that there. I'm trying to get the light to shine on just right. You want to be all the way up here. That means you're full. Not full of it, full of oil. So let's just slide it in there and check. We should be a little bit low. I think we'll be in the crosshatch operating area though. Let's see. Yeah, good. We're about a quart over. Let's check that again. I'll show you what I'm looking at. It's amazing to me at only 5 quarts. But maybe I should have stopped at 4. This one burns it or leaks it or sweats it or just and all other means evacuates it pretty regularly, so it's not as much of a problem. And what you want to do is you see me over here taking the dipstick and then flipping it over too onto the backside. You want to try to find the line where the actual oil is. So it looks like 5 quarts is more than enough. We're going to stop there. And I will check it again before we leave, just to make sure that we don't need a little bit more. So, oil change, check. Air filter change, also check. So that leaves us with now plugs and wires. And then this little, not really tune-up, but, you know, kind of call it a tune-up. It's pretty much done at that point. Cheers. But these Autolite Platinums, why? Because they sold them to me. So when I was 16 years old, I was working at a gas station here in my hometown here in Oklahoma. Don't need that anymore. My manager comes to me one day and she says, Josh, you like cars? Yeah, I like cars. You like to work on cars? Well, I don't really know anything about working on cars. Well, get out of there. Well, we're building a car. And we need some help. I said, you know what? If it's help that doesn't require knowledge, I'm your guy. So, went over that day after work, and I met Kenny. Kenny passed away just about a year ago. Kenny became like a father figure to me. And I'll never forget the times that Kenny and I spent together. And I'll never forget what he taught me about cars. We were actually building a 1969 Nova. It was a drag car. Still know where the car's at. You know, Robin still has it, the lady that was my manager at the time. And anyway, I spent a lot of hours in, on, under, around that car with Kenny, with Robin. We raced it all over this region of the country. Got into drag racing a lot. So anyway, I really attribute everything I know about cars to Kenny, and just really shocked me when I got the phone call that he had passed away. And it was somewhat unexpected. And so anyway, enough being down in the dumps. But that's how I learned what I learned about cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs, motors, you know, whatever, engines, whatever you like to call them, whatever your flavor is. I have 3 boys. My 20-year-old is very much into cars. In fact, he works at a tire shop here in town, and has a nice Camaro. You'll probably see the Camaro. We're getting ready to do cam and lifters on the Camaro. We already put headers and exhaust and everything. So you're going to see that Camaro on here. But so he's really into cars. I've tried to pass down that to him. My youngest, he's 14. Not really into cars yet, but I do intend to try to get him in here some too. But this is kind of my way of trying to give back some of that time that I spent with Kenny, some of that knowledge that I got. So there you go. That's why I'm making car videos now. Things have slowed down, and no more mowing to do. If you were watching mowing videos, probably won't be any more of those. Had to close the business down because, well, you know, businesses only stay open when they're profitable and make money. That one wasn't. So I'm procrastinating because, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, good. So we're nice and cool now. So we might as well see if we can't figure out a way to pull a spark plug. I'll get you back on here in just a minute. Got this really fancy, really bright light. It's made for fighting fires. It's really not made for seeing anything. But yeah, we're gonna use it either way. I'm gonna pop this off. If you don't know the firing order, you might need to start by understanding the cylinder count on the engine. We are over here on the driver's side front of the vehicle, starting with what would be considered the number 1 cylinder. You'll hear it called number 1 hole, you know, whatever you want to call it. It's the number 1, okay? It is number 1 in your life, number 1 in your dreams. It's number 1. These should be a 5/8. Should be. These should be a 5/8. These. Oh, there they went. Yep, 5/8. We're gonna pull this out, and I'm gonna do these one at a time because I don't want to lose all the plugs and wires. It's just easier for me to get my mind around one plug at a time. I don't know if this has ever been done on this truck, honestly. So I don't know if we're getting ready to pull out 265,000 mile plugs, or if we're getting ready to pull out plugs that have only been in here for a minute or two, you know, as my 14-year-old would say. Well, I can just barely get. You got to be really careful, not with that necessarily, but yeah, that came right out. You got to be careful with your plugs. You do not want to break those off in the head. That's what's known as a bad day. And once you get them going, you can really just get that wrench right on out of the way there. And put this back on here and just work it out by hand. It's a little easier, a little less cumbersome. Feels like the guy that did this last might have actually put some anti-seize on it. Maybe not. Maybe a little bit. But I recommend putting the anti-seize on there just because, well, it keeps things from seizing. Now that I said that, I don't feel like this thing's got any anti-seize on it because it is just dragging the threads all the way down through there. Come on, baby. You can come out. I know it's been your home for a long time, but not anymore. This is when I wish I had one of those motorized ratchets. You know, you... No, I don't have those. And I cannot get the situation to take place on that yet. Here we go. This might be a better angle, actually. Get back on there. You know, from the factory, this stuff all got dust shields and heat shields, and everything in this truck's still original. And so it's like, some of the stuff that's in here is kind of dumb. So, man. That just looks, it's old. I mean, man, you can see where the end of that, let me see, can you even see? You probably can't see anything. We're going to go off of my word here because the GoPro doesn't exactly give you all the goodies. But the end of the electrode where the spark, that thingy right there, the point at the tip, you know, whatever. I'm not getting all technical here. It's very worn, almost rounded off. So this is a Bosch Platinum. I don't know if that's what came in these from the factory. No idea. It's not what's going back in it. It's a GM engine. I really wish I could have just got some AC Delco plugs, just because that's, you know, that's the one for a GM engine. AP605 AC Delco. Now you can tell here, maybe you can, how this is real squared off. Just definitely not worn like that other one. Now, what's down here in the bag, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I wanted to show you anyway. But what we have here, got some brake grease. Don't really know why. Not doing brakes today. But okay. Anti-seize. What do you do with anti-seize? You don't put 27 pounds of it on the spark plug. But it doesn't take much. You know, if you just put it across there like that, Now as I go to thread that in, that's going to just, it's going to take it all the way around. And that's what we want. Apparently. Hey, would you look at that? Some of my gun. I can't even believe I just found that. Yeah. How cool is that? Just found an actual 5/8 socket, spark plug socket. So it's actually got a little boot in there that catches that for me. So yeah, then you put your finger right in your anti-seize, which is exactly what we're looking for. All right. Let's try this again here. Man, I love it when a plan comes together. One thing you have to watch with these spark plug boot style sockets, sometimes you get them in there, that rubber boot will not come off, and then you get the wrench stuck on spark plug. That's always cool. So, how tight do you tighten your spark plugs? Well, you know, if you go crazy with them, you're going to have regrets in your life. So what I like to do, I'm going to do this and then just, and I'll show you from up there because I don't know that you can see it from down there. You got to be careful pulling these off. You don't want to break the porcelain. So I don't get way out here on the end of the wrench and just go to cranking on it. I get down here like this. I have a whole lot less torque, a lot less leverage is the right word. And so I'll just twist it there. Good and tight, but if you're out here giving it the good and tight, you might give her good and broke. And we don't want that. I am changing the plug wires too. We're going to go ahead and just get that one back on just to hold its place for now while we go ahead and work on the next one. Now, the next one on this side of the motor is not number 2. Okay, so it's also not wanting to come off there. The boot. Come on, boot. Come off of there, boot. This is actually number 3. So when you work up the driver's side of a Chevrolet motor, it is the odd side. So, what is that? Oh, that's my temperature. I don't want to tear that up. Well, come on. I guess I was going to say you haven't been on there long enough to be that stuck, but you probably have. So, all right, got him off. So this is actually the number 3 cylinder now. So it's 13572468. Okay, everybody got that? There's going to be a quiz at the end here. Okay, go ahead and get this one out. The beauty of this one too is I can actually see it. So going back in with the plug on this particular one, it's actually going to be pretty easy. And these Vortex are they're not bad. The way the exhaust manifolds kind of go down and out like they do. Oop. Oh, you sucker. Steering column or shaft is in the way. You gotta be kidding me. Dirty rascal. Oh man, how many times am I going to have to readjust myself here? This is for the birds. Nobody wants to screw a bad plug back in. Come out of there. There you go. Okay, fine. It's all good here. Everything's good. Everything's fine. We're just rocking and rolling right along. So anyway, as I was saying, the way these exhaust manifolds come down, you don't have, it's not like having big header tubes going right over the top of your sparks, which then makes these things very difficult. Or some exhaust manifolds that go all the way across the top and then have individual pipes for each one. This plug, very much the same, very worn, but not oil soaked. I'm happy with that. So we will go on to number 2. It is also a Bosch Platinum, so we haven't, like, you know, skipped an install or something, had a bad plug that somebody changed out one. Haven't had that happening yet. So going back, a little bit more anti-seize on this guy here. Man, I don't know if you guys can hear that on the old GoPro there, but she's raining. She is raining. Not quite cats and dogs, but definitely kittens. I'll definitely give it kittens at this point. All right, let's go right up in there. Oh, so much easier when I can see it. Man, what a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. Probably going to get to the passenger side and there's going to be, you know, like an airbox or something right in the way. Say it ain't so, Joe. Say it ain't so. Okay. I am sweating profusely. I'm about to open up this door and just let some of that good, cold, late October air just penetrate the building. All right, let's see if we can make enough room yet. Yeah, we did. There we go. All right, so I don't know if you guys can see this, but we're going to try to demonstrate this again. I don't get way out here on the end, so I feel the plug bottom out. Just give her one of those. That's it. That's all you need. That's all you need. I just noticed that my SIM card is getting very low. Not my SIM card. My goodness, what am I, a cell phone? The SD card is getting really low. I don't have. Yeah, I got like none left. So I'm gonna give you the highlights. I'll cut you on for the parts that you need to know, but you don't need to watch me change all 8 plugs. They're all the same. Repeat the process. When we get to the wires, I'll show you what we're gonna do there. A little update here. Got the whole driver's side. All of the plugs are changed, and I'm getting ready to go ahead and swap out the wires. The good thing is, you know, on an older style distributor cap, you would have to worry about the firing order and and all that kind of good stuff. 184365572, that whole thing. You don't have to necessarily worry about that on this because it's the AC pulse distributor. And so really just make sure that the wires come off and go on in the same place, which you would do on any other distributor too. Man, I'm just standing here in the dark. You would do that on any other distributor. You would want to make sure your wires come off and go back on the same place. Just, it's easier this way because you have 4 of them in a line. I'll try to get you in there and show you 4 of them in a line. Just, it's pretty simple. Look here. They don't go, I don't even know if you can, what kind of sorry video is this? Look at that. You can't see anything. There's a kind of an idea. You got a couple of boots there. That's a couple of boots, not a couple of boots like in Canada where they would say a couple of abouts, a couple of boots. I'm going crazy here. I'm going to go ahead and get these wires changed on this side That way I can just holistically, to use my big word of the day, holistically move to the passenger side of the truck. Old plug. There you go. New plug. Wire, not plug. Put a little dielectric grease in there. Got a little, I don't even know if you can see this, but I just like to put a little, like that, one of those. And on the end that goes on the plug, we're gonna just, would I do this if I was just like, vice grip garaging it, trying to get home? No, this is my daily driver. Don't want any waters getting into my spark areas, you know what I'm saying? So, all right, again, pretty straightforward stuff. I'm just pulling one wire off, putting the wire back on. I'll show you this one. The flat end goes back up to the AC Pulse mega distributor. It's not really a mega distributor. I said that. Be careful when you plug these in. Don't force them. Don't jam them. Go easy on it, Go easy on it. Act like you care about her. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just go freaking throwing stuff. My goodness. You want this thing to last, all right? You want it all to work. So I got my little boot wire holder thingy-majiggers, and I just route it all back around in here. You probably can't see any of this because you're looking at the back of my head. I am a photographer or videographer. I don't know which one. Anyway, this boot goes back on this side. Clickety-clack. Clack-a-how. Okay, so we're gonna pop you right off of here, show you what we just did. Okay, wire comes up. I went through the little holder thingy, boom, 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 back to the distributor. Okay, it's that simple. Okay, I'm gonna cut you back off, save some more of this SD card, try to get the rest of this done. I'm running out of time. If I don't hurry up and get it done, we're gonna lose the shop. I don't have a shop. That's why I'm at the fire station. We're gonna try this again. Been working away at it here. Last thing to replace is the actual ignition wire that, I don't know what they call it on this truck, but if it was an older version, it'd be from the coil to the top of the cap. I put this one in and that's it. Battery on the GoPro died. Charged it all night last night. Guess it's time to buy a new one of those. She's not what she once was. Anyway, I'm gonna put this on. Can't do it holding the camera. I'm on my phone now. Can't do it holding the camera, so I'm going to get this on and then I'll cut you back on. We'll check the oil one more time and then we'll give her the old fire up and see how she runs. Just in case you were wondering, also, plugs on the other side, about the same. None of them oil soaked. I mean, if anything, I'm slightly concerned this truck's a little lean, but it's all still just factory setup. Did have one plug wire that had a little burn spot in it, one of the old ones, but other than that, everything looks good. Just running through the motions. Gonna get this wrapped up here. We'll start it up here in a second. Let me get this wire on. Dielectric grease in every one. By the way, one thing I forgot to mention, if you put too much on, you pop it in there and, well, the vacuum that you create kind of pushes it back off. So good times. Don't put too much on there. I forgot about that and I put too much on there. So learn from my mistakes. All right, got everything in. Plugs, wires, bing, bang, boom. Air filter boxes back in. I took all this out of the way. I didn't tell you that, but I took this super simple flathead screw right here, loosen up this band, comes right off. Take out this sensor. That sensor, just pop the connectors. Get you a little flathead screwdriver and just kind of pop this up. Be very gentle. When you're dealing with 25-year-old plastic, it will break. So just be real cautious with it, work it up slowly. Good idea would have been for me to put a little dielectric grease back around that, but I didn't. So we're just gonna pretend like we did. Air box, it kind of pops out. It's a little janky plastic. It's fairly easy enough to figure out. You might be thinking, Josh, this would have been a great time for you to put a fuel filter in the truck, and you're right, it would have, except that just a few months ago, the fuel pump went out. We had to drop the tank. By we, I mean Dustin and I, and by we, I mean Dustin and I, and by Dustin and I mean Dustin, really, more than anything. But I helped. I laid on the ground. I was moral support in the dead of night, holding the flashlight. And we lowered the tank down, put the new pump in, and in the process of doing so, stirred up all the goodies in the tank, plugged up the fuel filter, replaced the fuel filter, plugged up the fuel filter, replaced the fuel filter, plugged up the fuel filter, replaced the fuel filter, and now we're good. Took us went through 3 filters. Here we are again, though. So the time has come to, I said I was going to check the oil. I try to be a man of my word. So let's pull her out. And, well, let's try and do this way. Gosh, it's still looking about 5 quarts to full. So we're just going to go ahead and put that back in there. What I'll do is I'll check it again here in a couple weeks after I drive it, or next time I fill it up with fuel. So yeah, time to start her up. I have not put the seat cover on yet. We're going to do that, but I want to go ahead and start this thing up. And what we're looking for is this gauge right here. I want him to come right back up, quick, fast, and in a hurry. There she goes. 60. Idling like a champ. New air box. New plugs and wires. New oil. New filter. New air filter. Let's put a seat cover on. So this is the before. She's been a good, and look at that seat, barely a tear, not a whole lot going on there. We're not going to talk about the duct tape situation going on down there. If you've ever owned one of these trucks, well, you already know. So but I didn't figure anybody cares to see me struggle to get a seat cover on. So we'll just, how are we going to do this? Just give you the before, then we'll do one of these. There it is. Not really a camo guy, as you can tell by the camo floor mats that were already in here. No, really, this was the only one that O'Reilly had that fit. So I put it in, and I'm probably gonna have to fight it over time, get it nice and tight. That's why I don't like seat covers, but this old seat has seen better weather. Or, I don't know, better days. I feel like there's a saying about weather, but I don't, whatever. Anyway, got the tune-up done, got the seat cover on. That's going to wrap this one up, and I really appreciate you guys coming along, following along. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I plan on doing more like this. I've got some plans. I've got a almost 15-year-old that wants to fix up a car and drive it to high school when he turns 16, so gonna be working on that. Found an old Buick Park Avenue, an old Cadillac DeVille. I don't know what we're gonna end up with, but follow along and you'll find out. So thanks for watching. See ya.